What's up, everybody, and welcome to Unlocking Kingdom Hearts, a Kingdom Hearts podcast where we talk about everything we love and don't love about Kingdom Hearts. And for the video viewers, you're probably like, these people are wearing the same clothes as the last episode, and that's because we're recording this episode after the Dream Drop episode. We knew that we were super behind in episodes, and we wanted to make it so that that doesn't hopefully happen again. And so we are recording 2 episodes back to back for y'all and your listening pleasures. I'm here with Jonathon Dornbush, Alexa Ray Korea, and Kevin Diaz. And we're talking this episode about Kingdom Hearts 0.2 Birth by Sleep, a Fragmentary Passage, as well as Kingdom Hearts back cover. Jonathon, how are you today?
It's been so long, Cam. It's great to talk to you. I don't know what you're talking about. I wear the same outfit every day like a cartoon character. Okay. So
classic V-neck tee is my style. Classic V-neck. That's nice.
Kevin, how are you?
Same thing.
Doing good. Hanging out, chilling.
And Alexa Ray.
Oh, here, alive, still a Kingdom Hearts sicko.
Despite Dream Drop distance.
So glad we got that over with.
Yeah.
Because now we can go Aqua.
Let's go up from here. It goes up from here. Aqua. Still with some issues, but it goes up from here. But yeah, so we're just gonna hop into 0.2, a Fragmentary Passage, which is basically like the prologue of going into Kingdom Hearts 3. But there is a little bit of history to this. 0.2 is 10 years, or like not 10 years, basically 10 years after Birth by Sleep. Basically going into the end events of the original Kingdom Hearts 1, and you're playing as Aqua, and you are in the Realm of Darkness, trying to find a way out, as you have been for the past 10 years. What's cool about this is that initially there was going to be a second Birth by Sleep game where you played as Aqua, and it was all in the Realm of Darkness. That eventually did not happen, of course, and this is the kind of replacement of that. This is more or less to let people know what Aqua's been up to the 10 years leading into Kingdom Hearts 1. You kind of get the other side of the door to Kingdom Hearts at the end of Kingdom Hearts, where you see Mickey shirtless with Kingdom Key D.
Why did you say it like that?
Because he's shirtless. And what a silly thing that it's like one of those things. Like, I appreciate that y'all remembered, but what a silly way for that to actually happen, right? It's just like, oh, this heartless tornado
ripped off all his clothes.
Ripped off my shirt.
Mickey's not the one. He's not the one we're looking for shirtless, guys. Like,
speak for yourself.
Anyway.
Yeah, I do think that this was a pretty smart thing to release for Square Enix. It being this kind of glorified demo is really what it is. It's a glorified demo of what you would expect the Kingdom Hearts 3 gameplay experience to be. And Kevin, I want to start with you, because this is like, you basically have got a sense of what the Kingdom Hearts 3 gameplay experience is going to be.
That's how I was going to ask.
And I wanted to dig your brain on like how you feel about the gameplay that you've experienced in Point 2 versus more specifically Kingdom Hearts 2.
No, I'm definitely into it. Okay. I was thinking like, and I was gonna ask you guys, like, is this kind of like the ground zeros of Kingdom Hearts, right? Where, yeah, to me, like, I was blown. I love ground zeros.
Yeah.
MGS. So this, like, I mean, you give me 2 hours of Aqua, like, I'm down. I love Aqua. Big fan over here. Big fan of Aqua. But I think visually it looks obviously really great. This is probably UE4 at this point? Probably UE4, yes. I think. Yeah.
Yes.
Looks great. Yeah, I was really enjoying the mechanics of this. A lot more, like, I think this is where kind of we start to see the very flashy action combat of just Square in general, right? Like, you know, this is before the likes of obviously Final Fantasy 7 remake and 16 obviously, and like I feel like those are definitely two games where I feel like it's very flashy from like a visual standpoint, even aside from like resolution and stuff like that. A little bit of 15 as well. When did this come out? This was what, 2016 or
2017?
Yes.
oh really?
Yeah, January 2017. So
Okay.
Yeah.
And I just kept thinking like, yo, like I bet, and I'll let you guys speak for it itself, being in that time and playing this when it first came out. But I bet it was pretty positive. I would assume. I don't know, unless there were some crazy critiques that people were not feeling about this going into the third game. But I definitely enjoyed it. Definitely liked it. Definitely was into it for sure. But was it like a unanimous, like, hey, this is looking good? Like, was the fan base like, okay, like this is, because this is a big departure from what Kingdom Hearts has been, right? So how was it like in that time, like going into this, not only new, I mean, we talked about story-wise how new era Kingdom Hearts post Dream Drop Distance like isn't really the best overall from like a narrative perspective, but from core visual and gameplay, I was enjoying it. So I mean, was that the consensus around 2017 when this dropped, or was it a little bit wishy-washy, or was it negative? What's up?
It was like generally like good. Like it was like okay, cool. Yeah, like it they didn't give us enough to be like,
Right.
oh my god, Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to be like the greatest game ever made. But it gave us like that taste test that I think a lot of people wanted, of course, because again there was such a big change. I thought that there were some things that were really cool about the combat, the kind of and when you do certain combos and then you use like a specific magic spell, like you get rewarded with a super powered version of that magic spell.
Yeah. I think just to
go on.
mention really quick, like I think the only thing like I do remember now that I'm recalling it, I did feel not OP, but like very, very, very powerful, you know? And I think that kind of took a little bit of the skill off of it, you know? I'm not saying like beat me over the head with it, but I felt very much like, and I forget if there's difficulty options, there could be, and I forgot, but it felt very much not really that difficult of a thing to get through, you know, overall. So there is that.
That criticism does not change going into Kingdom Hearts 3. That's all I'll say about that.
They did a little dumb down. Okay, I see. Okay.
But yeah, that is something that I also took issue with when I played Kingdom Hearts 3. But we're not talking about Kingdom Hearts 3 yet. There's a lot of things that there's a lot of issues I have with that game. Despite still liking it a bit. But yeah, so basically this is, Aqua going through the realm of darkness, trying to find her way out, and as she like goes throughout, she runs into Ven and Terra, like these, it's them, but they're also like basically like spirits, like light forms of them. And which was cool because we get a little bit more story on Terra, and like after being taken over by Xehanort, and her basically kind of getting a little bit more information as to what has happened as she's been away from the realm of light. Alexa, did you want to talk about that at all? Alexa's thinking.
I'm trying to think of what I was going to say about this, because on the one hand, I think that this is like, I know that this was supposed to be its own longer thing, and you can kind of see pieces of what that long story was going to be, and then they made it just like so short. Essentially having, like, I was really excited to play Aqua, and I love that what they do with having her kind of like just traversing through the realm of darkness is like this really hard, like almost like self-examination, and it's almost like spooky. Like, this is the first piece of anything in the series that feels a little unsettling, a little like spooky. And I don't know if it's because like the switch to Unreal Engine and the way that they rendered everything made it kind of look and feel that way, or if it's because it was meant to feel a little spooky. So it's a huge tonal shift from everything we have kind of gotten from it so far. Like, I would say the end of Dream Drop Distance got a little heavy, but there's the time travel thing that like the convolutedness of that plot point kind of like waters that down a little bit. But this one was like a little spooky, and I think that's what excited me about it. Was starting to like, you very much feel the stakes, like what's at stake, like, which is the universe, whatever. You're stuck in this realm of darkness. We up to this point have not really gotten a lot of time in the core kind of like parts of the realm of darkness. Like, we're typically like in the corridors, or we're in like the world that never was, which is like adjacent but not. And then there's the end of the world at the end of 1. That's like also very creepy. I actually, thinking about it now, saying that out loud, I don't think I have felt the way, like nothing made me feel the same way since the end of the first one, where everything was super dire and you very clearly saw the effects of everything that's been happening on the universe at large. Like, this is where it kind of like brings the stakes back and like brings it back to remind you, like, hey, people have been fighting against this evil, negative, whatever you want to call it, antagonistic force for a long time, and there have been consequences. I think that having these like light forms of Terra and Ven kind of like moving around Aqua, in addition to what I think is the most compelling part of this this game, is her facing herself, like a version of herself. And we'll see, you know, what happens with that later. I think that is probably the most obvious and overt the series has been in a character's self-examination, since we had the Sora and Roxas present at the same time, and the Riku and Roxas dynamic in 358 over 2 days. So I actually feel like this piece is really profound. Like, the gameplay definitely a step up, but I think story-wise, this was where it kind of brought it back for me, and I kind of felt like, oh, okay, yes, this is Kingdom Hearts. Like, this is where we're going with it. Like, it kind of makes everything else that has happened, like, you kind of forget it a little bit, or it's a little more palatable. And also, Aqua was so well received by the fandom when she was debuted and when she came out. So being able to spend that time with her and also have a female character leading this franchise for the first time ever was like really, really special.
Yeah. Speaking of which, since technically our Recoded episode, like, Kevin has put a stamp on it that Aqua is his favorite character.
Facts.
Right?
Facts.
Yeah, you love Aqua.
Yes.
Here's the thing, I like Aqua. I just think she's a little wooden for me. I just think she's a little wooden.
What do you mean wooden?
Like, personality wise, like personality wise, she comes off as like a little rigid? Like, yeah, rigid. Yep. Mm-hmm. And like, I still like Aqua. Like, you know, I just think for me, I just think her personality. I wish she was a little bit more characterized when it comes to her personality. Like, I know that she's supposed to be like the responsible one, but like, I just wish there was a little bit more to that. And but I still like Aqua. There's not a character in Kingdom Hearts I don't like. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to speak my truths, because I've always been a little scared to say it, because I know so many people love Aqua.
Safe space, so a little safe circle.
Yeah. The internet, though, that's another space, and that's
she's definitely better than Kyrie. So.
Oh no, yeah, for sure. A cam.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, what?
Yeah. Yes, no, for sure.
Keep playing. It's got flowers on it. Ooh, wee. Like, okay. I just showed up and they gave me this. Wee.
Yeah. That's like probably one of the few things about Kingdom Hearts 2 where it's like, okay, what are we doing here? But yeah, Jonathan, your thoughts. Wait, was I even talking? Was I talking about something? Was I actually in the middle of a thought there?
No,
you were just doing some Aqua slander. Like,
okay. I thought I diverted from something into that.
We'll find no allies here with your Aqua slander.
I'm not slandering Aqua. I'm not slandering.
You just took a little bit long to debate if Kyrie and if Aqua's
we'll talk about this.
Than Kyrie.
Well, the last thing I'll say before I pass it over to Jonathon is that like I do like how she's basically going through this like mental battle of herself, and like just from like it kind of feels like, oh, she's just been in the realm of darkness so long that she's starting to kind of just lose herself, which I think is really fascinating. Hey, I got the Aqua right there.
This girl, my favorite.
I got the Aqua right there. Naminé's my favorite female character, but that's me.
I respect
anyway, and so I like that a lot. I like when it comes to the combat, and you only really get to see this, I think, if you specifically use Blizzard, but you do get a little tease of flow motion.
Yes.
If you use Blizzard, because it does like a little streak, and if you go on the streak, you'll slide, which I think is really cool. Teasing that into Kingdom Hearts 3, and I think and then the other thing I really liked is that how the kind of remnants of the worlds that we see are of the 3 main worlds of Birth by Sleep. We got the Snow White world, we got the Sleeping Beauty, we got the Cinderella, right? And I really like how it kind of continues the theme of like trios that Kingdom Hearts has. So those are my thoughts about that. Jonathon?
So Aqua's obviously the worst. No, I love Aqua a ton, and not just because I'm a big The OC fan, so I'm a fan of the voice actress. I
watched Arrow, so that's how I know. I like.
Oh, true. Yeah, I forgot she's in that. Yeah.
Big fan of Will Holland.
She's Thea, right?
Will Holland.
Anyway, what were you saying?
She's Oliver Queen's sister in Arrow.
Yeah,
she's Thea.
I don't remember this.
And then she's Marissa's sister in the OC, which is how I knew her originally.
What you say?
Like insane voice casting. Like Brittany Snow.
That's like the perks of Disney, right? Though, right? You can get these these top of the line voice actors that are voice acting these games. So
you can get David Boreanaz to be in Kingdom Hearts 1.
And Leonard Nimoy. And oh my God, Rutger Hauer and Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah, Christopher
Rutger
Lloyd.
Hauer is one of the crazier ones to me. I mean, like all of the older actors are. It's like, what did they tell them this was before they had them read the dialogue?
Yeah. Christopher Lee. That's still the funniest story. Is just like, I'm gonna read this script one time and then I'm gone. Yeah. And he had one of the best, if not the best, performance in that game.
Yeah.
My God, he was so good. And then it's so sad. Like, there's definitely the Xehanort is such a tangent. The Xehanort curse, because Leonard Nimoy was Xehanort in Birth by Sleep.
What an iconic voice for Xehanort.
His performance was incredible. And then he passed away and was replaced by Rutger Hauer in Kingdom Hearts 3.
For those that don't know who that is by name, he's the villain from Blade Runner.
Yes. And then he passed away, and then fucking Christopher Lloyd, like Doc Brown plays Xehanort in the Remind DLC.
And he doesn't sound anything like Xehanort anymore. I'm sorry.
Oh no!
I don't know what
a weird choice.
Listen, Leonard Nimoy, it's hard to replicate what he does as Xehanort. But the other two guys, Rutger tried. He actually tried. Christopher Lloyd did not try. Christopher Lloyd's like, I'm gonna do my own thing.
So I actually met Leonard Nimoy like I think it was not too long after Birth by Sleep came out. He did a lecture at my university.
Oh, sweet.
And when we went to the lecture, and then you got to shake him, shake his hand and say hi or whatever. And I was like, hi, I loved your Xehanort. And he stopped for a minute and then laughed and was like, oh, that's so funny. And I'm like, and then I had to move on. Yeah. I was just like, do you remember that you were Xehanort? Or were you just like, oh, I've played so many characters, I don't remember. But it was so funny because he was just like,
Was it either like, I can't believe someone just said that, or
maybe
who is Xehanort? It's like one of the two.
I was like, maybe.
It's a real thing though, because like
it is a real.
I don't want to go too much on a tangent, right? But when me and Alexa were at a Critical Role party during the Game Awards last year.
TGAs.
Did I say the Game Awards?
No, you did.
No, you just
Okay, yeah. During TGAs, we went to a critical a party hosted by Critical Role. That night, I found out that Alexa knows everybody. Like literally anyone that you can think of in this industry, Alexa knows, and in a way that I was like, oh my god, come on! I see Matt Mercer. I see Matt Mercer, who, and the reason why this is relevant. This is actually relevant to the story. I'm into a very niche franchise called Trails, Legend of Heroes Trails, whatever. And Matt Mercer voices my favorite character in the series. And so I was like, and of course he does many, many other incredible things. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to the bar and talk to Matt Mercer. I'm like, trying to be like not weird about it. And then who do I see that's talking to Matt Mercer but Alexa? And then Alexa doesn't even give me the opportunity. She's like, hey, have you met Cam? And it's like, and then she's like, oh yeah, we've known each other for years, like blah 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 blah. and then
I did a one shot with them at GameSpot.
I no, it's awesome. Like Matt Mercer was amazing, super nice. Like one literally has a glow about him. Like I've never met a person that actually is glowing. Like he has an aura to him.
Maybe Matt Mercer can play Xehanort.
Yeah, Matt Mercer, if you're listening to this podcast,
if anyone could,
take Xehanort.
You're amazing, and I'm sorry if I was weird around you. Anyway, and then later, Troy Baker comes in, and he is the original voice that Matt took over of my favorite character in Trails. And when I tell you, and when I mean he did the voice, he did like quips, like he did like it was like that kind of voice role where like you're making noises and you have like victory quotes, and that's it. And so I had to like go up to Troy and be like, hey Troy, you definitely don't remember voicing this character, but I love that you voiced this character.
Did he remember?
I don't know. I didn't get this. I don't know.
Oh,
but, like,
okay.
I know that he said in the past, like when he did that thing with Nolan North.
Uncharted
he did, like,
4?
this show. No, he did this. They did this show on YouTube for Rooster Teeth with Nolan North, and they would talk about like how they would voice so many roles that sometimes they forget who they're voicing.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, you probably do not, in my mind, I'm like, you probably do not remember voicing this character, but it means a lot to me. So like, will you take a picture with me and Matt? So like the three of us are together, because then I can die happy. And that's what happened. And he was just like, yeah, sure. But I doubt he had any idea. Anyway, sorry for the long tangent, but I had to tell that story. Alexa knows everybody.
No.
And we can continue on.
Yes, please continue.
Jonathan.
Yeah, John. I was like, wait, Jonathan didn't say his point about the game.
No. Yeah, after that crazy story, please talk about 0.2.
All because I mentioned Willa Holland.
Is that really how? No, Willa Holland and then Leonard Nimoy and then my.
That was the chain. It was just a very funny.
Wow.
7 degrees or 6 degrees. Anyway, yeah, I enjoy it. It's good. It's really hard for me to pull apart my like initial reactions to playing it, because it was that thing where it is like, this was seeing Kingdom Hearts on a fidelity I had never seen before. This was the tease and promise of what Kingdom Hearts 3 could be, and the excitement around all of that. And I think, not to belabor the point too much, but Alexa, you really, really hit it for me of like, the mood of it was so striking when I first played, and that level of darkness to it, and again, whether that was the engine or the artistic choices, whatever it may be, really stuck with me so much and made me enjoy the experience on a level I didn't expect to going in. And I have a soft, or I have a place in my heart, like a soft spot for it, because I think it's an hour-and-a-half demo. It is clearly just like, it is the ground zeros for Kingdom Hearts 3. It is just a tease of what's to come. But I thought it was pulled off really well. I had a really fun time with it. I think it is a good whetting of the appetite of what's to come next, regardless of how you may feel of what comes next. Like, I think it set the stage really well, and for essentially being a demo pack in for the bundle with the Dream Drop Distance remaster and back cover, I had a really fun time with it. I think it does really what it's trying to do pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah, and I really like how things ended. I liked the team up attack that you did with Mickey that was called Wayfinder. I thought that was really cool. On the nose, but in a good way. And gave a really great taste as to like what the combat is going to be like going into Kingdom Hearts 3. But yeah, I think we can just hop right into Kingdom Hearts back cover.
Here we go, the weird shit. Let's go.
Yeah, this is really where the series, we start seeing the seeds that Nomura is planting for the next arc of Kingdom Hearts, the Lost Masters arc, where this is years and years before anything in Kingdom Hearts before, where it all takes place in Daybreak Town, which is hinted at in Birth by Sleep from the story that Kyrie's grandmother tells her, where there's a bunch of these Keyblade wielders. They're everywhere. Everyone has a Keyblade. You get a Keyblade, you get a Keyblade, and you get a Keyblade. But which is more on the Union Cross experience, which we will talk about after Kingdom Hearts 3. But for back cover, we get the focus on the Master of Masters and the five foretellers. Five foretellers. Yeah, there's 5 of them. It's their names are Ira, Envy, Gula, Aced, and Ava.
Speaking of Matt Mercer.
And
yeah, Ira. Matt Mercer.
Ira voiced by Matt Mercer.
And Travis
Aced is Travis Willingham. And I didn't realize this until I looked it up yesterday. Ava's voiced by Isabel Merced, who's going to be playing Dinah in the Last of Us Part 2. Ava, she's the one.
No, wait. Dinah. Dina?
Dina?
No, yeah, no.
Dina.
I was like, wait, who? Okay, no.
Listen, it's late.
Go ahead.
It's late.
My bad.
It's late.
My bad, please.
I don't care.
You know what, Dinah? Fuck.
And basically each I mean, do we count Lushu as a foreteller? Right? Not really. But he's like the 6th guy.
Yeah.
He's like the 6th guy.
He is the masters. This is the introduction of the master and the master of masters.
Yes.
And
voiced by Ray Chase, who Alexa also
Ray Chase, shout out Ray, and Max Middleman was Lushu.
Yes, and Max Middleman's Lushu. Yeah. We just need Robbie Damon. Where's Robbie Damon? And then we got the 3 of them. Anyway. But yeah, and Lushu, who's like not a foreteller, but he is another apprentice of the Master of Masters. And all 6 of them are given a role where basically the Master of Masters has this book of prophecies, where the book of prophecies is supposed to basically have all of the future already written. It cannot be changed. And they're each giving a role. Lushu's is pretty straightforward. I'm gonna do his first because everyone else is kind of like their own thing. Lushu's role, and we don't know what Lushu looks like. He's completely cloak-coated, just like the Master of Masters. We don't know what they look like or anything like that. We get their voice and that's it. And he's basically given Xehanort's Keyblade, what we know as Xehanort's Keyblade, by the Master of Masters. And the eye that is on Xehanort's Keyblade, it's called No Name, is the Master of Masters eye. He put onto the Keyblade, and he basically tells Lushu, like, this book of prophecies is proof that you will fulfill your role, where you basically just need to train someone to pass down this Keyblade and keep passing it down so that I can witness the future. And then on top of that, you need to have this box with you, this black box, and we don't know what's in it.
Huge box. It's not even a small box.
big ass
It's a
box.
fucking huge box.
I was like,
black
yo,
box.
I was like, how's he gonna carry this, bro? Like what?
And so,
Big off box.
and only Lushu knows what's in the box, and the Master tells him he can never open it. It can never be opened. And yeah, that's his role, and he goes away. And Lushu's we don't see him again. At least not yet. And Kevin, you have a question?
Do y'all know what's in the box?
We do not know what's in the box.
Still?
No.
As of now, we don't know.
No, I have been waiting.
Man.
I like when you told me that you watched back cover, I was like, what's in the box, Kevin? Because that's what we are all, that's what the entire Kingdom Hearts community, you're with us now. The entire Kingdom Hearts community is asking the question,
The box.
what's in the box? That is the number one question that any Kingdom Hearts fan will wants the answer to at this point. So you're with us. You're with us.
Okay. Well. It's great company.
And then
It's great company.
And then did Kevin, anyone want to talk about Lushu and what you experienced from that in back cover?
I've learned to not care what's in the box because I firmly believe the answer will never live up to the years of waiting to know what's in the box. So I've just cast aside, like, yes, I want to know, but I just don't let it bother me anymore because there's nothing I could think of that would be like the ultimate, oh my God, that wouldn't. It really depends on how it's delivered and the implications of that. So I've just kind of accepted whatever it is, I'll find out.
Okay. Yeah. And so it's a very similar thing throughout this movie where we see the Masters give everyone a role to fulfill, because he says that maybe one day he will vanish, disappear. I forgot what the 3 words were exactly, but it's like vanish to like disappear or something. I don't know. And so he tells Ira that he is basically the new master. Like he is the one that's supposed to like be in charge of everything. He's the new leader. They all still have their respective unions, but he's the one to rule them. Like he's like the one to like oversee everything. And then Aced is assigned to basically be Ira's right-hand man. Simple enough. Envy is basically meant to observe the foretellers, and basically, and then she like ends up telling Ira of those things. But yeah, that's really her role there. And then Gula is given this missing page in the Book of Prophecies, because every foreteller is given a copy of the book, but all of their copies don't have this lost page. And the Masters rips it out of his copy and gives it to Gula, and basically wants him to more or less figure shit out. Yeah. Yep. And
It's messy.
yeah, and the last Ava, she's basically told, you need to get all the best Keyblade wielders, regardless of union, to form a secret organization called which she calls the Dandelions, for any potential like conflict in the future. But the thing about these roles is that none of the other members are supposed to know about their respective roles.
Right.
Outside of like basically Ira's supposed to be the leader, Aced is supposed to be his like right-hand man. And there is conflict. This is my thing about the stories, is that like it just kind of jumps to places where we're just like, oh, so we're just going from here, where it's just like Ira's just like, oh, there's a traitor, and I believe it's one of us, and it's just kind of jumps from like a completely unrelated scene in a way. That's like, oh, okay, cool. And a lot of the story outside of the Masters giving these roles is trying to find out who the traitor is, which ultimately we don't know. We don't find it out. And again, there is conflict. People end up disclosing their roles to each other because they feel like that they have to understand that I'm not the traitor, because they just gotta do it. If not, they're gonna think they're the traitor, and then they're gonna get killed and things like that. And so we get like, I feel like as a, consuming this series for so long, I feel like this movie, more than anything else in Kingdom Hearts, does not tell us information that I feel like we don't need to be unaware of for the series moving forward. It just feels like it just kind of jumps from points to points to points and doesn't explain like what happens in between those points that don't feel like that they would be major spoilers for like a future Kingdom Hearts title if you decided to disclose that information.
Okay.
Am I crazy, Jonathan, Alexa, from your personal experiences?
For me, it going from the opposite of like this was in the same package as Fragmentary Passage that I think does lead up so nicely going into 3. This felt just very like I don't know what to do with this right now was my initial reaction when it first happened. It was like, obviously this must be important down the line for reasons. But when I first watched it, I think to your point of I think the fact that it jumps around so much either makes it feel like, oh, this should have been an animated series or like a limited run series of things or a longer movie of some kind. I think it just throws so much at you, and without the context initially, it's just sort of a little jarring, and it's hard to know where you feel like you really need to invest in the information that you're presented.
Yeah, it's the introduction of this like secret society that like predates the Keyblade War and all of this stuff. Like, to me, this is also like, again, it started with Dream Drop. I think Point Two had so much Disney in it, and like really part of like made us feel like, oh, this is the classic Kingdom Hearts. We're in the world of Disney characters. Like, we have this stuff going on. Like, even if the characters weren't there, you were still in Disney worlds. This one was like such a pivot, like a hard pivot to somewhere else, to some other genre, to some other thing. And it was all purely like new Kingdom Heartsy lore. Like, it was all new stuff, but it was almost too much. All of the foretellers are named after a sin. They're named after one of the 7 deadly sins.
I was going to mention that.
Yeah, and there's obviously like there's a reason. So there's something that Nomura wants us to pay attention to. And if we don't get enough time with the foretellers to really be like, okay, yes, their name and their job, like in it, if you look at it really closely, you can see where their personality and kind of their role in this kind of matches up with that sin. But like, the question is like, okay, the master, there's something to do with the 7 sins that a human can commit that has to deal with this world, the Keyblade War, and why Ava specifically is the one putting together the group of Keyblade wielders that will eventually make it to the next world. Like, this world is going to crumble. There's stuff going on. The future is written, but we're hiding it. Like, there's a lot there, but a lot of it is also not addressed. Like, everyone has a copy of this book. Everyone talks about this book. They're still fucking talking about this book at the, as we move into Kingdom Hearts 3 and beyond. We never actually get told exactly what's in it beyond, oh, it's the future and it's all written down here. There are so brief moments where we're even told like one of them read something in this book or the book says something about this. Like, it's just, we're supposed to just accept like, yeah, this book has the future in it and it's guiding us forward. But then if this is how the future is supposed to turn out, why are we putting all these assignments together. What is the function of the dandelions if the future is already written? And I can see the threads of like Nomura being like, okay, this is a fate that is going to befall everyone, and kind of it starts to stretch into the theme of like, you know, what does it mean to be? Who are you? Like you in relation to the people around you, you in relation to the world. Like there's the seed of a larger tie-in to the thematics there, but it never comes to fruition. And this just kind of makes like the whole Xehanort thing feel really muddy, because when you think about the fact that there was always someone who's not an antagonist, not helping you, just like some kind of neutral observer who very clearly has machinations. Like the way they write the Master of Masters is very like he's like the personality equivalent of one of those like inflatable tube men. Like he's very unpredictable and he's very dramatic in the way that he speaks and what he says. And it's, you know, can we trust him? Can we not trust him? Like all these interesting questions are brought up by back cover, but we don't get enough time to kind of absorb what it all means. And yes, this is paired with Union Cross, and I know people listening to this who did play it will probably be like, oh, well, if you played all of Union Cross, like, this will all make sense to you. We're going to get there, and it doesn't really. Like, this still feels like disparate pieces of a larger universe where it was, oh, there used to be loads and loads of Keyblade wielders, and then they all fucking died for some reason, and now we're here.
Yeah.
That's my thought.
And, like, I will push back a little bit in the sense of, like, the Master of Masters is very clear, like, hey, like, this is your role. You are going to fail. It is going. You can try your best, but it's not. This is fated. Like it's gonna happen, and they still do it because they're just like they have this like loyalty to the Master of Masters, but it's also just like, oh, why do you have that loyalty? Like we needed that justification for a lot of characters' actions, right? And I actually think that Aced is is probably the best characterized of the foretellers because the movie does a really good job at making him feel like he is the traitor, that he is the bad guy, but it's really just like, no, he's still doing this because he wants to preserve the light. He's not falling to darkness. He's doing this. This is just like his way of seeing like this is how he's going to preserve the light. So he's not really the traitor. He's just doing it in a way that like I feel like most people would see as like evil or like dark or antagonistic. And so like I do like some of the stuff that they do with the foretellers. It's just that there's really no closure, and even and I'm not gonna spoil like the foretellers their fate at the end of Union Cross or anything like that, but there's still not enough. There's still nothing to like give us any sort of like something going into Union Cross or Kingdom Hearts 3 that makes it feel like it just feels left open in a way that we don't normally get in Kingdom Hearts games, where it's like they give us a tease of something and it gives us enough to like theorize. Sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong, and this is just nothing. It's just like there are things that just end, right? Like where Ira's trying to get the lost page from Gula, and then I think it's Ava's like, no, and then he's like, okay, and he walks away, and that's it. That's like the end of Ira's thing for that movie. It's just like, okay, well, like what the hell? Like there's no closure for really any of these characters in a real way. Ava, you could say you get something right where she's like, yo, y'all need to like get out of here. Like y'all need to get out of here. Shit's gonna go down, and y'all got to be the ones to save everyone. That type of thing. And so like that gave me something, right? But I ultimately, again, I think that just things are left really open-ended in a way that just doesn't feel like how Kingdom Hearts stories normally are, and it doesn't feel like something that is justified on something that is going to be like revealed in a later entry. And so it's just a bit messy. Like there are things there that are super interesting moving forward, but as a movie, it's a bit of a mess. It's a bit of a mess. Kevin, what are your thoughts?
I just don't know what to make of it. And like I was hoping to come here and be like, oh, Kev, here, look. So here's what's critical to know about this moving forward. But now that I'm hearing that, oh, you know, there's some threads that don't get followed up on, and like, yeah, there is Union Cross that follows up this from what I gathered. I was just trying to figure out like what do I probably need to know going in, you know, to Kingdom Hearts 3 and beyond, right? And I think like ultimately where I'm at, because I did vividly remember Kyrie's grandma talking about this era and talking about this like legend, you know? So when the movie started, I'm like, oh wait, I think this is what she was talking about, which I was very much like down for. Okay, yo, like that sounds cool to get a little bit of context and lore from something that isn't so insulary to the game that we're playing in the series, but something that adds a bit of context to the overall nature of the Kingdom Hearts universe. So like I thought it'd be neat to explore that. It wasn't really that cool, at least to me, you know. I appreciated the very different vibe, I feel like, of like a very dramatic like mistrust amongst these people, and like, oh, I don't know what you know because, you know, you don't know what I know. And like that kind of, you know, oh, who's the traitor? Like, I thought that was a very different thing for the series that I thought was very cool. But outside of that, like, I don't have really a lot to even add or go off of, because I just don't know what was the core takeaway from this, you know, like overall. But yeah, just that was cool, at least. Like, that was neat to get that backstory a little bit, but I just don't know really what to do with it yet, I guess, you know. It was so just out there, just so like different, you know.
Yeah, and that's totally fair. There are important connections of this into Kingdom Hearts 3, but they're also like
if there's spoilers, and like I get it, you know.
No, yeah,
okay.
it's definitely spoilers. It's definitely spoilers.
Yeah.
Like, you need to know these characters,
Right,
going into Kingdom Hearts 3, in the way that they're depicted here. Because like by this time, Union Cross has already started. Like the mobile game, like that story is like progressing. So this is all like kind of happening at parallel times. But like that stuff, like who, like your player and like how your player becomes relevant in the series moving forward and things like that, that's all, you don't have to worry about any of that until after Kingdom Hearts 3, in my opinion. I don't know if Alexa and Jonathan would agree with that, but like that's why we're kind of structuring it this way. It's because like it's kind after Dream Drop, there's kind of multiple games happening at the same time, and so like I think this is like the best way to consume the narratives that are happening across all these different games.
All right.
But yeah, I still am, the thing that, and this is because, you know, I am up to date, I am current with Kingdom Hearts, like this, what this does most for me is just gets me excited for the future of Kingdom Hearts. Because we know, like, without getting into spoilers, we know that these characters are going to play a significant part in the series moving forward. And I want to know, and you know, who knows? Maybe that's why things are the way they are in this movie, right? Is that they just wanted to save things for the future, and certain interactions at a later time. Who knows? But taking it for what it is at this current point in the series, and where like Kevin's at in the series, it's a bit of a mess. It has some cool stuff in it, and I'm curious about the future of the series because of this, among some other things that are revealed at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3. So,
hey, but Silver Lining, yo, we're here. Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm very excited. I'm excited to play it.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
I've been very excited. I've been excited from when I saw Skrillex at a rave. and you played Face My Fears, and they had Kingdom Hearts 3 cutscenes left and right, and I was like, yo, this looks beautiful. I was like, this looks fire. You know what I'm saying? And the All-Star, that was in like 2019, I think. I believe it was 2019.
That was the year it came out. So
yeah, it was December
That's when 3 came
2019
out.
going into New Year's 2020. Yep. Mm-hmm.
The one thing that I
January 2019.
Yep.
The one thing I honestly like think would be cool for you to do is to just like watch all the trailers in order. Watch all the trailers in order so you can because one, there's so many trailers, like to the point where like they should have stopped, but they had a lot of trailers and it was really hype whenever a new trailer came out, because we were like, there was a point because it was announced so early, right? And it got to the point where we would get like one trailer a year maybe, and so like
D23.
we were just frothing at the mouth, dude. We were like frothing for it. There were so many great ways.
Sorry, Kingdom Hearts 3 was the game where did you freeze?
Yeah, Cam, are you frozen?
No.
Oh my god, you were so still.
He was frozen.
Kingdom Hearts.
That's crazy.
Kingdom Hearts 3 was the game where like Disney re-entered the chat. Like Disney really kind of like they owned
derogatory.
Yeah. People love Kingdom Hearts. The IP is popular. Disney got more involved, and they got really involved with the storytelling in Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm not going to say anything about it or anything. Like, I want you to play it, then we can talk about it after. But this is like Disney rolled out like the announcements for Kingdom Hearts 3 were nuts. It was once a year. Cam is right. And at D23 one year, they announced Big Hero 6 like on stage, and they told us the plot of the world. And then the next year was Toy Story, and they had like Nomura with like Buzz and Woody, like the character.
Like the toy soldiers came out and everything,
on stage. Yeah, and it was like, and every year after that, and then next was Frozen, and then they announced.
That year was crazy because that was my first E3, and I went to the Xbox press conference, and they showed off the Frozen world. They had a Frozen trailer, and then that very same night, I think it was, they did the Pirates trailer at the PlayStation showcase, and we were going crazy that day because we got two Kingdom Hearts.
The marketing was crazy. Like they revealed all the worlds prior to the game coming out, so you already knew what all the worlds were, and all of the worlds in Kingdom Hearts 3 are contemporary. Like they are in the modern area of Disney. The oldest franchise featured in that game is Toy Story.
Yeah, 95, right? Toy Story.
Yeah. Like, yeah. It's
if you don't count Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah. Well, Winnie the Pooh's in every fucking Kingdom Hearts game. Fuck that guy. Whatever.
Oh, I love Winnie the Pooh.
But
Pooh, I had Pooh gave me nightmares as a kid, so I have a beef with Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, I had a Winnie the Pooh blanket when I was.
It's the Heffalumps.
I love. I don't. Yeah, that was when I checked out.
Like I can't do it. But Kingdom Hearts 3 was really, really interesting, and part of the reason it took so long was the switch to Unreal Engine, and also because the Square Enix team working on this was so embedded with certain teams within Disney to work on these stories. And also, this is also the era, like Kingdom Hearts 3 came out in an era where Disney started getting a little bit, for lack of a better word, anal about how some of their IPs are used, and when and where and how their princess characters can get used, and how certain stories have to be told. And like they started getting really, really meticulous and really, really careful about how they use these references and how other places are allowed to use the IP. Right. And you can see it very clearly in Kingdom Hearts because there are two kind of worlds. There's two kind of worlds in Kingdom Hearts 3. And I'm not going to tell you what those two kind of worlds are. I want to hear what you think after you play it.
Okay. Got it.
But yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3 is nuts. And there's also a plot point at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3. When you finish it, you watch the ending. There's a plot point that I called in 2010. That everyone was like, I called it as a joke, and it ended up being right. And I will talk about it
I'm very
when it
interested to hear
happens.
what that is, because yeah,
You know. I told you.
I don't think you have.
All right.
Maybe you have. I don't know.
John,
go ahead, Kevin.
I want to hear from just everyone. Like, what was that lead up like? You know, in a similar vein that Alexa broke down, like, even from just where you were at from like a industry standpoint, but also just from a fan. Like, because I got to imagine that lead up to 3 was probably, because I saw it from a very exterior, you know, not at all a fan yet of the series, but it looked like y'all were having fun. Like, y'all, it seemed like the hype was real. Like, it was very, very exciting. But yeah, just how'd you feel, Jonathan? What's up? How are you feeling?
I mean, I wouldn't disagree that they probably, in retrospect, showed too much and could have called it a little bit earlier. But to your point, it was really fun in the lead up. Like, I looked forward to those D23s, to those E3 trailers. This was also, it's hard for me to separate it from the fact that, like, I was getting to professionally cover Kingdom Hearts, which after being a fan for 20 years or however long it was at that point, was a really big deal. And I got to go to Japan to interview some of the team to talk about the game. And I can distinctly remember, like, the E3 where I went to the concert that they held at, like, the Dolby Theater. And
Ooh.
and they showed a new trailer at the end with new footage. And I remember being in the Uber back to the hotel, writing a story in the IGN CMS on my phone because no one else at IGN knew Kingdom Hearts. And I was like, I have to put all this information down ASAP because we need a story out. And I can, like, remember moments like that were really fun, or covering the D23s and doing trailer breakdowns and all that stuff. So it's like it was such a really, really fun time that, yes, I think they probably could have kept some mystery for some of that. I do, you know, think looking back fondly on discovery of worlds in a way in older games that didn't happen here. But yeah, it was a fun time. Like, the lead up to Kingdom Hearts 3, partially because it was so long, was a really fun, interesting time. Those last 2 or 3 years in particular, when they were just like, here it is, here it is, here it is. Yeah. So yeah,
I want to kind of, this is somewhat relevant. I kind of want to circle back and listen, like, we already talked about what we can talk about, and honestly, like, talking about the lead up to Kingdom Hearts 3 is probably a great way to cap off this episode. But as someone who, you know, consumed IGN for a long time, and, like, before Jonathon was there and there really wasn't anyone at Kingdom Hearts, like a Kingdom Hearts person, it was admittedly, like, frustrating when people, like, just didn't know what they were talking about. But when Jonathon came on the scene, I was just like, oh, finally, someone that gets it, someone that knows. And I still remember at that time, man, that, like, there are people, and, like, there are people that I still, like, keep an eye on if they cover, because they'll go out of their way in a way that I won't, to, like, find the smallest snippets of potential Kingdom Hearts news. And so I keep an eye on them. I'm not gonna name names because I don't think they're bad people, but, like, just the way that they were so, like, backhanded compliment towards you, Jonathon, at IGN, because, like, IGN gets a bad rap. Oh, IGN can't spell ignorant with IGN, you know, whatever. That's a whole nother thing. But, like, I just want to say, like, I appreciated the work that you did during that time as someone that was like, oh, I want to be that guy. I want to be that guy. When, like, there were still Kingdom Hearts fans that were, like, saying, like, oh, like, he knows enough, like, he's good enough, but, like, he still could be better. Like, that shit pissed me off. Like, that shit pissed me off so much. I was like, y'all, like, you, like, the amount of times probably on this podcast alone that the three of us who are Kingdom Hearts sickos probably misspoken on something, misremembered something. Like, there's a lot to Kingdom Hearts, and I just think that, like, the idea that if this idea that, like, whether it's just journalists or whatever aren't good enough to, like, report on Kingdom Hearts, or aren't knowledgeable enough to talk about Kingdom, it's just like, please stop. If you're one of those, if you're listening to this and you've thought that before, like, and you're still like that, please stop. Like, it's just not, that's not a cool look. That's not the vibe. You know, we all love Kingdom Hearts, and, you know, you may know Kingdom Hearts better than all of us. Like, good on you. But let's just not be that way. And again, Jonathan, you killed it on the Kingdom Hearts stuff. And I'm sure you saw comments like that during that time.
No, never. No, not a single.
And I just want to say that I thought you did great, and people can maybe take that as this is like a bad faith thing because we're friends, we're doing this podcast together, but that's genuinely how I feel. So I just wanted to say that really quick.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. I did. I will say, get to learn from the best of another person on this podcast when I interned at Polygon. I got to learn from Alexa. So just to keep the compliment train going, but who also did a phenomenal job before I even had a chance to, and I learned so much from you. As you did it.
Nobody understood except for us.
Yeah.
I have that like a memory just came screeching back to me. Something getting announced for Kingdom Hearts, and we were sitting in the rows in the old Verge office because you sat right across from me.
Yeah.
When you were interning, and something happened. I forgot exactly what it was, but I remember being like, and like the two of us were like flipping out, and like I think it was Brian down the road. He's like, "Stop talking, write about it," and we were just like, "Okay."
Okay. Yeah, no, I forget what it was too, but I remember that, and it was he down the aisle was like, "Well, come on, guys, just go do it." And Submit, I think, was there looking at us like, what is going on? Yeah,
being like, you weirdos, like I don't understand what you're doing. Yeah, those were the days.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Also on top of that, like, still a video I will watch at least like 2 or 3 times a year is Jonathan explaining the entirety of Kingdom Hearts and like. Was it in a minute?
The joke was that it was in a minute. If you want to talk about backhanded compliments, because the whole joke of that video is that I'm obviously skipping half the lore, or 3/4, 90% of it. Like it's just a joke.
You got like all the key points. Like
I tried. I didn't take a breath for a minute. Yeah, it was just one of those funny things where and people would be like, "Yeah, he didn't get everything." And it was like, that's kind of the point. I couldn't get everything. But,
but like,
that was a really
one
fun
take.
video.
I was just like. I could not have done that. I could not have done something like that. So
it was a good time. The legitimate stares of like incredulous disbelief on my coworkers who did not know the story, looking at me like, I don't know if that's true, but we'll believe them.
Yeah.
You want like the most difficult and painful audience that you have to explain Kingdom Hearts to. I had to explain Kingdom Hearts to my Disney wedding planner.
Really?
Because they did not know what Kingdom Hearts was. They were like, "Oh, do we own that?" And I'm like, "Yes." And they were like, "Okay, can you please explain like what it is?" Because I had made obviously a PowerPoint of aesthetics, and they were like, "We don't have any frame of reference for this other than the Disney worlds." And I was like, "Okay," like in the Fairy Tale Weddings like showcase building on my phone and being like, "This is Sora," and I just knew that this person was like.
Yeah, I had no idea.
They were like, no, because I was like, you have these 4 costumes in storage somewhere. Can you find them? And they were like, I don't think we ever, like, this doesn't look like something we've ever made. And I'm like, oh no, you fucking made it. It's somewhere in a warehouse. Go find it. And interestingly, actually, funnily enough, they didn't have the license to use Kingdom Hearts for any of the Disney Fairy Tale wedding stuff. So for the entirety of my wedding planning, we were like skirting like big IP things other than having the characters at the wedding, obviously. And then the week before my wedding, they got the license. And so there was like, or they got permission. And then there was this flurry of like, okay, we're going to reprint everything with like official Kingdom Hearts, like branding and like pictures and like stuff on it.
Was that a Square thing or did Drake help you with that?
No, there was no help needed. Like there was absolutely nothing. It was just me and Disney and a large check.
Wow.
So
I just want to say, and I'm just going to use like the end of this episode to say a heartfelt thing about everybody because we're nearing the finish line here. But like,
nearing the finish line.
I remember, when Sora was announced for Smash, I remember so many people saying like this, like even people I didn't know, like pure joy from this guy that's popping off that Sora's in Smash. And when I think about pure joy, because you brought up your wedding, I cannot tell you, like I genuinely like cried happy tears for you when I saw you just like kind of like flying your way to Donald and Goofy, and you're just in that video, and you're so fucking happy, Alexa. And
I
I'm
was
just
so
like,
happy. My poor
I was just like,
husband
I
sitting
love that
behind
for
me.
her so much. I love that for her so much.
We knew that they were coming, and we knew when they were coming, and my dad introduced them as like, these two weird guys are walking around outside, should I let them in, is what he said.
Oh, that's funny.
And I wasn't prepared because I missed every single press event and every other event in which these characters were present. I had never seen them in person, and so I was like, I don't care how much money you want, Disney, I'm paying for these characters to show up at my wedding. And I just had this moment where I like reverted to my 14-year-old self and like grabbed my keyblade and like fucking bolted across the room, my poor husband trailing behind me.
It was
like
such a beautiful moment. It was so I was so happy.
I do hope in the future that they integrate more Kingdom Hearts into the parks. I know they do pins now.
Yeah, they
and
just
the pins
did
are all
pin a few months ago. It's like they did a pin line called was it Tales of the Sword?
That one.
It was limited to like 2,500 or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's so if you're listening, so basically the base is Goofy's shield, which is very cool. DM Alexa at Alexa Ray C if you have one of these pins, and you can send it to her. And then the actual pin itself, down the middle is Kingdom Key D. On the left side, it's King Mickey, and then on the right side, it's like this. It's kind of like these 3 dashes, and it says, "There will always be a door to the light." And then there's like stars and stuff. It's a gorgeous pin, absolutely stunning. Super. Yeah, I was actually gonna say, like, because we still haven't like gotten to all link up together. I would really like it if one year, it doesn't have to be this year, but like one year we all go to Disneyland, like Halloween Horror Nights, and we all like dress up Kingdom Hearts characters, and we get pictures with Donald and Goofy and Mickey. That'd be really cool. I would really like that. I'm saying it now on the podcast. I would really like that. So literally all of us are either in or bordering California. I feel like this is a realistic thing we can achieve. Just throwing that out there. But and then like Kevin, come on, big dog. What are we doing here?
I'm just
like really, I'm really happy. This feels like the final episode, like a final episodes thing, but just extending the time a little bit because this is a short episode. Like shout out for continuing to go through this, right? Like I didn't doubt you. I want to say that now. I did not doubt you, but I would not have been surprised if you were just like, nah, man, this ain't for me.
Shit, I'm out.
It's not my thing.
Nah,
I didn't think you were gonna quit.
No,
I wouldn't have been surprised. It's different. It's a different thing.
No way. Nah, no.
Because again, like this series gets a lot of hate from people that actually haven't played the games specifically. And it's really great that you've overall been enjoying it. Like I'm not, I wasn't expecting that once you finish this, you're like, dog, this is like one of my favorite franchises ever. But you seem to really, really like it. And I think that by the time you were done with this, you're going to be in for Kingdom Hearts 4, the series moving forward.
Kingdom Hearts 4, yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. I'm
gonna be something
because Kingdom Hearts 3.
I still haven't even seen the trailer for it.
Yeah, because Kingdom Hearts 3 is such I feel like regardless of how you feel about it, because I genuinely know people that love Kingdom Hearts 3 is their favorite Kingdom Hearts game. I think that's crazy personally, but I do know people that feel that way, and I think that there is like a significant number of Kingdom Hearts fans that feel that way. And I do feel that regardless of how you feel about it, this is like, I would really kind of like to know, as we close this episode, Kevin, what your thoughts, expectations, hopes are going into Kingdom Hearts 3. Predictions, anything.
Just the way that they talk about what's next, right? When it comes to, the 13 Dark and 7 Light. The very much lead up to at the end of 0.2 when we get to see Sora, Donald, and Goofy go to Coliseum. Like let's go. You know, like it feels very much like Endgame. In terms of like it just feels like that kind of like it really does feel that way. Like and like I don't know what I mean the at least I don't think you make like an Aqua model, right, in 0.2 to not maybe use that, right? Same with
not play as Aqua.
Same with Terra, same with Ven, right? Maybe. You know what I'm saying? I'm not you know, possibly. We'll see. We'll see. That'd be dope. But yeah, I'm just curious to see what like end there is. Or if this is like or if this is very much a continuation like of that new era that y'all talk about, how like, you know, Dream Drop and on is a different era. Are we still in that era now leading into Kingdom Hearts 4, or have we kind of closed some doors and truncated this era within itself, right? There is
It's
that
kind of,
question, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So there's a lot. Yeah. There's a lot.
I would go ahead, Alexa.
They say that Kingdom Hearts 3 is the end of the Dark Seeker saga, and that 4 is the Lost Masters saga, is what they have said so far.
Interesting.
I don't entirely believe them.
Okay.
But that's
Gotcha.
an explanation for later.
Yeah.
What I'll say is, I think that Dream Drop was the kind of soft retcon. I wouldn't say a soft retcon, a retcon on like a lot of story stuff so far. I would say Kingdom Hearts 3 is a soft reboot type vibe where you can tell when you're playing this game that they really wanted to allow people that haven't played the series before to jump in on that game and find some success. Like, there's no way you're gonna play that game not playing the other games and know everything that's going on. It's impossible. But like I think that they wanted to design it in a way where like they kind of had the mindset of like, this is inevitable. There's going to be people that are going to start with Kingdom Hearts 3, and they try to make that somewhat possible with questionable success, in my opinion. But I think you can very much feel that, especially now that you've played all the games, right? Like, you know, like what has come before, and so I think you'll be able to detect that vibe from it. And you can also kind of tell, kind of comparatively to how, and I don't want to go too deep into it because like it's just going to start just being criticisms of the game, but kind of what Alexa was saying earlier, you can see and feel the Disney meddling in this game. You can see and feel like how Disney wanted or didn't want certain things to go certain ways, and it affects the game. It affects the worlds in ways that I particularly took issue with, and others did as well. And but ultimately, still, I like the game. It's one of those things. It's one of those things where one of those kind of forms of entertainment or products of entertainment where you walk out being like, I like this, but if you ask me to talk about it, I'm going to be talking about the things I didn't like way more than the things that I liked.
Right. I see. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Jonathan, do you have anything to say?
Any parting?
No, I don't want to say anymore because I want to hear what Kev has to think when we go in.
Okay.
Kevin, I can't wait.
Yeah. How?
I love this. I love this for me because you're a virgin going into Kingdom Hearts 3. So I love this for me because I can't wait to see what you take away from it.
Last little question. Was it a odd choice to have Skrillex in that main menu screen song? Like was that something that like a lot of people were like what? Like what is that? That seems very much out of left field. At least you know.
Do you not know? Do you not know why Skrillex's name is Skrillex?
I actually don't know. If you like to let me know.
It's a Kingdom Hearts reference. It's killers scrambled with an X in it. It's a nobody name.
Oh shit! Wait, really?
Yes.
I actually didn't know that either.
He's a huge fan.
I knew that he was a fan, but I didn't know his name was a nobody name. I've been listening to that dude since high school. Oh my god. I listened to that dude for like half my life, and I had no idea that was a nobody name. That's cool.
No, that's actually literally earth-shattering. I didn't know that. Holy
so
shit.
cool.
That's crazy.
He says the name in interviews. He's sometimes he's like, oh, the game has like his name has no meaning. It's just a thing. But it's killers with scrambled with an X. It's a nobody name. He's a massive Kingdom Hearts fan.
God.
So bringing him in to work on it was like a huge thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need
wild.
I really want first off, I just need the Kingdom Hearts Orchestra to go on tour again because I still have yet to go. I've never gotten to go, and I want to go so bad. And also, like, I just want Utada to go on tour, like, go on a tour in the U.S. I know, like, I get it. Like, I know, like, even the big Japanese names don't really tour in the U.S., but God, what I would pay to see her live or them live. Sorry.
Did you see that Utada re-recorded "Simple and Clean"?
Yes, I did see that. Yeah, I really want to see them live one day before I die. That'd be really nice. Anyway, so that's it, everybody. The road to Kingdom Hearts 3 is over. It's over. We're here. We've done it. Well, we haven't done it. We're about to do it, and hopefully it won't take 9 months to record that episode. And we can quickly sunset this wonderful journey that we have done together.
Until Kingdom Hearts 4?
Until Kingdom Hearts 4. Until Kingdom Hearts 4 news. That was the last thing I was going to say, actually.
D23, right around the corner.
Fucking Jeff Keighley.
Right around the corner.
Fucking Jeff Keighley got to meet Nomura. Had a meeting with Nomura in Japan like last week or 2 weeks ago. Should have been me. Should have been me. I'm more important than Jeff Keighley. Yeah, so I'm Game Awards. Maybe we'll get some Kingdom Hearts 4 news. Or SGF next year. One of the two, I think it's going to happen. With considering that Jeff Keighley just had a meeting with Nomura and stuff. So, but anyway, that's it. We're good. Go play Kingdom Hearts 3 if you're listening to this. And until next time, may your heart be your guiding key. Bye.